Okay, we're going live. Let's see if it works. Maybe there we go.
11 hours now live streaming.
Yep. Okay, yay, we are live. All right, well, hello everyone. Welcome to the expert interview series. My name is Lisa Meisels. I'm your online visibility and impact strategist, and I just wanted to get off Facebook right now so there's no feedback. And I'm really excited today because we have two guests. And they're so fun. I was on their podcast and they're going to tell you all about it, but it's amazing. And I hope that you guys share your growth because you've done some amazing things. And I think people need to know about it and how you've actually done this. So the expert interview series is all about bringing guests on to help you take one step forward, so that you can implement something that's bite-sized and see an instant result in your business. And so today, we're going to be talking about success having no age limit. And I love this because it's so true. We have so many people that are, in their like 70s, 80s, 90s that are still actively being successful. And young people, people that are little kids that are 6 years old and younger that are doing wonderful things that I've seen. So I'm really excited to talk about this. And before we get into it, let me introduce you to Eddie Truck Gordon and Meiyoko Taylor. So welcome, guys. I'm so excited you're here. And I'm just going to read your bio a little bit, and then we'll dig in. Does that sound good?
Perfect. Thanks for having us.
Okay, great. All righty. So Eddie Truck Gordon is a celebrity New York Emmy award-winning fighter, best-selling author, UFC Ultimate Fighter champion, motivational speaker, and life coach. He regularly empowers corporations, Fortune 500 companies, and thought leaders in the areas of leadership and personal development. He's also the co-host of one of the most popular personal development shows in the world, The Art of Winning. Additionally, he is the founder of Eddie Truck Gordon Foundation, whose mission is to help underprivileged kids live a life of success and to put an end to drug abuse. Known as the trajectory changer, Meiyoko Taylor is a multi-generational thought leader in personal development and the creator of the acclaimed Amazing Leadership Program, which teaches CEOs, entrepreneurs, professional athletes, and industry leaders a comprehensive system to promote peak performance in every area of life. Meiyoko and his two-time best-selling author is a two-time best-selling author, and he's also the co-host of one of the fastest-growing shows on personal development, The Art of Winning. He has received wide media coverage and acclaim, including features in Success, Women's Magazine, or Women's Health and Fitness Magazine, Bustle, Ladders, and dozens of other media outlets, and even more recently. And I asked them what they take a stand for, and this is what they said. We want the world to know that success has no age limit, that no matter your age, your circumstance, you can shift your life and become successful in every area of life. And I love that, you guys. This is a great way to just start off. So let's start by having you share a little bit about how you got to where you are today, and then we'll dig into the tidbit of strategy that you're going to be offering our guests here today.
Go ahead, Eddie. You go first.
Oh, wow. So the pressure's on. I get to go first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I honestly feel that, I'm where I'm at today because I learned how to fail properly. I learned how to fail and not focus on the actual act of failing more than the actual results. I learned from every single mistake I've ever made. I'm perfectly imperfect. And I know now that you can't wait till everything's perfect in this world because it's never going to be the case. So I just focus on being the best me possible. And more importantly, I want to be authentic and genuine, and I just want to help people. And once you learn to help other people solve all their problems, all your problems tend to disappear. And that's kind of like how I'm in this position now, because I took the focus off of self and I started putting on other people. And I surrounded myself with great people like Meiyoko. and yourself. And it's just, you just keep doing things like that, and success is sure to follow.
Yeah, you're doing some great things. I love your foundation. That's just an amazing way to give back. And I think giving back is really, a part of, as you become more successful, that's why you become more successful, is because you want to be able to give back. Is that that's how I see.
That you're so spot on. I've learned that the material things really don't matter unless you can share them with other people who are less fortunate. And by doing that, you kind of open up the universe, and you start receiving more benefits and more gifts. And it just feels really, really good when you can, help somebody that is unable to help themselves, and they're genuinely grateful for it when you're not looking for anything in return. Because 9 out of 10 times when somebody usually gives you something, they want something in return. And just generally just give to give. It's a great feeling.
Yeah. You win when you give. You win. It's like it's a win-win. I hate that term, but it is a win situation. So, all right, thank you so much. And Meiyoko, let's hear a little bit about you.
A little. I'm gonna try to sum this up. I'm gonna try to sum this up in the quickest way possible. I think my story, me and Eddie have similar stories on how we kind of came to being. But one of the things I definitely want to put emphasis on as we're sitting here talking to your audience and people that are going to be listening to this later, I was a type of person, very entrepreneurial spirit at a very, very young age. And one of the things that I advise people not to do is I started to listen to other people on how to direct my life. So I ended up working at a 9-to-5 that I absolutely hated every single day, waking up, going to that job. Was in a relationship that was very emotionally draining, was technically obese. My health was failing. And I had reached a point in my life where I completely forgot who I was. And I remember one day looking at the mirror and I just burst into tears. And I was just like, you know what? Something has to change, because I have one or two decisions, right? I could either continue to go down this road, horrible relationship, health get worse, and only God knows what, and work at this job. It was like I was fading away, like I was killing who I was on the inside. Or I can make the scariest decision I've ever made and just go against what everybody was telling me, what wasn't the correct way to do, because they were fearful themselves, and just really start to make that change towards what I really wanted to do. And when I started to do that, what I found was some of the pressure started to kind of relieve in a bit. And I said, you know what? I kind of know what I want to do, but I don't really know who I am yet. I lost who I was. Yeah. So I started looking up how to find yourself just on Google. And one of the first things that popped up was personal development. And I had never heard that phrase before. Like, what the heck is personal development? So when I started researching, I found Tony Robbins, and I found Zig Ziglar, then I found Les Brown and all these different people. And I became so fascinated with what we call today personal development. But what I found is that people were only giving fragments of it. They will motivate you to the point, but the applicable information that was tailored to your own personal situation was missing. Yeah. And from that point on, that's what kind of led me to really pursuing it, because as my life would change, I wanted to be able to teach this to other people. So, I went and got certifications and all those things. And we'll talk about certification too, because that's just a piece of paper, by the way. So I went and got those things and really started to develop my skill set to where I can help other people. And it's just snowballed ever since. And that's why we are here the way we, this is why I'm here now, because I believe that I'm purposed to do this, not only to grow for myself, but to be able to share this with other people, which is not being done.
Yeah. And I love what you're saying, because I truly believe that this is the new business model, which, has to do with certifications, not necessarily relying on your credentials and certifications. It might be something we have to do for ourselves, but that's not where the value comes. The value comes from your experience and your wisdom of going through the problems and mistakes and all of that stuff that gets you to where you are. And so you can, I was just talking with somebody, you can condense the time it takes for somebody that's like, scattered and just drifting in life. You've done it before, you've been there. And so you can help them condense it. And I just think this is the new business model.
Right. Go ahead, Eddie. I know you want to comment.
I agree, like so much. Like, honestly, I feel like life experience trumps all certifications. Like, it trumps it.
Right.
I don't want to hear somebody talk about what they read in a book. I don't want to hear somebody talk about a degree that they got. And don't get me wrong, like, I was a Fordham graduate. I graduated at 3.8 GPA. I done very well in school. So I'm not saying school is not important and certification is not important. It's extremely important, but I need life experience. Like, I want to hear the struggles that you went through. So like you said, Lisa, I can learn from you so I don't make the same mistakes. I feel that we're going to learn through two ways. We're going to learn through, pain, which is not the most easiest way to do it, or we're going to learn through, personal development and mentorship. Learn from what your mentors went through, and it's a lot less painful, and you could speed up the process, like you said. So I'm a big, huge believer in life experience, and all these certifications are great. Depends on what you're doing. I want to see a doctor who's certified. If I have to have surgery, I want to make sure he knows where he's going.
That's not just wisdom, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't want to talk to somebody who's never been through struggle, never been through hardship, and just knows how it's supposed to feel, how the technical terms of it. I want to talk to that person that's been a bum, been homeless, been fat, overweight, obese, got in shape. How did you do that?
Right.
Dealing with some of the same issues that I'm dealing with, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. I think that's why me and Meiyoko hit it off, because it was almost like when I was talking with him, it was like we were picking from each other's life, and it was like, oh, you've been through that too. Oh, you can relate. If you can relate to somebody, that's a very powerful, underutilized, thing in this world.
Yeah, you've got to be able to relate to people. And that's why I believe that the experience that you've been through, there's different people for different people. And that's why, there's not competition, because you're going to pick the person you resonate with, the person that, has the same relatability that gets you. That's who you want to work with, right?
Lisa, you stay all the boat. You're like so awesome. I hope these guests understand how awesome you are, because you stay all these. You hit the hot topics, and there's enough for everybody. Like you said, competition. There is no such thing as competition. There's billions of people on this earth. Everybody has different issues, different problems, and they're not going to relate to anybody. That's why I genuinely believe that if we're doing this personal development thing the right way, we're going to open it up and let it be available to everybody, not just people who can afford it, not just people who can all the other things. Because if you're really down and out and you need that personal development, a lot of times you're not going to be able to have the funds to do it. But guess what? If you can help somebody uplift them from the ashes, when they become successful, when they become where they want to be, you better believe they're going to remember that, and they're going to give back to you and pay it forward. So I think that is huge and important.
Yes.
I really want to touch really, really fast on this competition thing, because you have a lot of so-called motivational speakers, business coaches, branding coaches, success coaches, all those things. We've all heard it all before. But I think one of the biggest things that people, I really want them to understand is you can learn a lot of principles from these people, but never take away the true essence of who you are. And I think this is how we mess up. We don't spend enough time as people identifying who we are, what we love to do, what we're passionate about. And we run away with somebody else's version of how we're supposed to run our business, how we're supposed to make sales, how we're supposed to connect with people. Mm-hmm. How can you connect with your audience when you're not even connected with yourself?
You're not you. Yeah.
That's the power. Your authenticity is your inner superpower. And it amazes me till this day how I see how people don't want to be vulnerable. And I told somebody recently, vulnerability is your power. That's your key, because it's not really being vulnerable. People want to know that you're a human being. They want you to be believable. If I go to an event tomorrow and I see somebody who's told me how to make $0 to $1 million, and he rides up in his Rolls Royce or his rented automobile, I say rented, and makes himself seem like he's this fancy millionaire, that may not be realistic to me. Yeah. So I go back home and say, you know what? I didn't connect with that particular person. As personal development, as what you're doing, Lisa, as what Eddie Truck Gordon is doing, what I'm doing, one of the biggest gifts we can give to someone else is for them to say, if he's doing it, I can definitely do it. This guy he's just like me. He's down to earth. He's relatable. He's not on his high horse. I connect with him. So now being in a success magazine or winning Ultimate Fighter on television championship, or working with businesses, it's believable to them. And once you get the belief, the rest starts to fall in place. The problem is people don't believe, and there's not enough people like us to help them believe.
If it's too good to be true, it usually is. And that's kind of what people don't realize. And that goes on to the thing that we were talking about earlier, where everybody wants everything to be so perfect. They want the perfect video, the perfect this, the perfect that. Like, no, like we're going to go through bumps and bruises. We're going to go through learning phases. That's the beauty of life. When we first started doing our show, Meiyoko, we wanted to make sure that it was so perfect. And then we got to the point where we were like, you know what? People want to hear the oopses and the ahs. Like, they can feel more human. Like, let us hear my kids run around going crazy, because that shows that, hey, I'm a dad. I got 4 beautiful boys. Yeah, listen, they drive me crazy, the dog and this and that. But guess what? I didn't make an excuse. I found a way to get it done. And if I can do it, you can do it. Like, my house is not always spick and span. And just because you see me on TV doesn't mean that, you know, my kids are going to be spoiled. It's you got to be real. And when you see that, they're like, oh, wow, you know, oh, he yells at his kids too. Oh, his kids don't listen to him. Like, that's real. That's reality. And by all means, my kids are so not afraid of me. You'll think they should be or would be, but I'm like, forget about it. No chance.
Well, you know what? I love talking about when you first talked about coaches that tell you a formula or tell you a certain way to do things, or personal development people that say, you've got to do it this way, you've got to go through this path. It's like our perception, our journey is so different from anybody else's, and we see it through our own lenses, right? And so it has to feel in alignment. And I remember when I first came online, everybody said, oh, you're a nutritionist. You should do nutrition. You should do this. You should do that. And I'm like, well, I guess I should. And so, so I did, and it just never felt right. And it's like, but you don't know that until you do it. And so taking that action, like you're saying, being able to be imperfect, you won't know until you start doing something. And I think I want to hear from you guys about your successes and how just being imperfect has helped you become successful. And I want to hear about this new thing you're going to exploit on the air here today about you haven't told Meiyoko about yet.
Oh, so the pressure's on. All right. So I started my venture being perfectly imperfect. I was always in shape in high school. I was an all-state, all-American, went to Division I, played college, 2-time captain, had this physique, and I was always fit, always in shape. And then things didn't really go my way. I didn't get picked up by the NFL. They wanted me to go to CFL, which is the Canadian Football League. And I was like, I went to a really good school, graduated a good degree because I didn't want to chase this dream. And I was almost doing it because I wanted to grow up and rush to be an adult. And a part of me felt like it died because I was a competitor, I was an athlete, and it started to affect me. I didn't realize it until, my mirror started working, and I realized I went from being a Division I athlete to being an overweight 300-plus dad. And it was like scary when it's like almost like somebody pulls up the shades and then you see like the reality of who you are. And it's shocking. And I didn't know how I was going to change it. I didn't know when I was going to change it. I didn't know where to begin and where to start. And everything kind of falls in line because I was really stressed out at work. I went to a UFC event, watched these guys fighting in a ring live for the first time. And I was like, watching with these different eyes. I was like, I can do this. All my friends, my coworkers, my buddies that was with me said, you had way too much to drink. You're out of your mind. It'll never happen. You're too old. You're too fat. Give it up. Stop it. There's no chance in the world. You're one of those drunk guys watching football on Monday saying you could do that. But it wasn't the alcohol. It was the inner belief in myself that I knew that I can do this, if I give it all. And if I failed, whatever, I would fail, and I'll just go back to the office and work in the office again. And I'm lucky enough, I was stubborn enough to not listen to my friends. I took a leap of faith, and I did have somebody that helped me and worked with me and said, hey, you know what? If you believe in yourself, I believe in you too because of the person you are. And I started training. 3 years later, I won the Ultimate Fighter show, got selected from 1,000 different fighters across the world. did something that people thought that was never possible. And more importantly, besides, the winnings and all that stuff, it gave me a platform to make an impact and change other people. Because if I was in finance, if I was wearing a suit and tie, I don't think these kids would listen to me as much. And I wouldn't be able to draw their attention and say, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. And my message is usually, when I go speak with kids, I usually say, I tell the teachers, please don't yell at me. I tell them right away, I'm going to tell you something right now. Don't allow adults or your teachers to steal your dreams. Because when I was sitting in high school, I remember telling my teacher, I'm going to be a professional athlete. My signature is going to be worth something. People are going to want to meet me. I'm going to impact people's lives. And my teacher literally told me, yeah, that's far-fetched. It's never going to happen. And I remember going home that night, like literally in tears internally. And I took that big, thick stack of loose leaf paper and I wrote my name over and over and over until I literally, I was like, it's going to be worth something. And it did happen overnight. I stopped. 4 years of college went by. 4 years of corporate America went by. So it was almost a decade from when that even glimpse of hope came to fruition. Because, when you first start fighting, you're not making great money. You're not notoriety. You're fighting in warehouses in God, he knows where. And I knew that everything changed the second I won the Ultimate Fighter and fighting in front of millions of people at the MGM Arena in Las Vegas. Wow. In front of millions. Like that, it was when I was like, oh my gosh, like
it's real.
It's real. And I literally failed my way up until that point because I wasn't an undefeated fighter when that all happened. Right. So I literally failed my way there. So that was like why I'm so I tell people, have your dream and have it big. And if it's not making people laugh, your dreams and your goals, then you're not really doing it right.
Yes, I love that. Meiyoko, I want to hear about it. Oh, you're muted.
All right, I'm unmuted.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think the thing that me and Truck actually have in common is I think it's purpose. I think if you want to focus on a word, and throughout my journey, when I discovered this whole personal development thing, and people always ask me, so when did you become a coach? I say coaching chose me. I didn't choose coaching. Was always doing this, but I didn't come into my own until situations in my life led me there. Mm-hmm. And I said to myself, if I can change the trajectory of my life, there's so many other people right now that are living life on accident. Whether they're celebrities, whether they're not celebrities, they're living in a space where they're asking themselves, what the heck happened? How did I end up here? How am I in this situation? This is not where I want my life to be. This is not what I want to do. And I said, if I can change and create a formula where I can teach other people to change, then I know I can impact more lives. So one of the things that I started to do, I love writing. I've always been passionate about writing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to actually start writing for publications. So I started, little blogs here and there. And then I found this site. This is a little tip for all you guys trying to get featured in media. I'm going to give you. I found a site called helpareporterout.com. And I went there and I started just seeing all these journalists, requesting certain pitches for different outlets like ABC, Success Magazine, Forbes. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to apply and I'm going to see who responds back. The first several ones, miserable. I failed miserably. But then I kind of developed a routine, started to develop relationships with some of these people. And the story about it, the ultimate for me in business was to be featured in Success Magazine, right? So that was the whole epitome of things. So as I'm making an impact now, fast forward, I have some celebrity clients. I'm working with some people. Things are going great. And I get this particular call and I forgot. And they're like, oh, well, you're going to be featured in Success Magazine as a life coach. And it brought back to my remembrance, like, wow, this was like one of my dreams. And I said, that's awesome. Thank you very much. And that was it. Then I kept going on to the next thing. And I had to smile because the interesting part about it, that was like my ultimate goal at one point. But the vision became so much bigger than myself. It's just like, okay, that's just a credibility piece that allows me to impact more people's lives. And the amazing part about it is how I got to tell how me and Truck met because I'm sure some people want to know how we met.
I wanted to, let's hear it.
I will say this much. If you are out there listening and you are not utilizing social media, you are out of your mind. Okay. All of the amazing guests we've had on our Art of Winning show, I want to say 90% of them came from Instagram. I reach out to people. I look at profiles. You have to understand when people are doing their profiles, they are giving you an idea of their personality, who they are, their likes, their interests. And when you resonate and connect with somebody, reach out to them. Yeah. So that's what I did. So I was noticing this UFC guy, you know, posting these motivational things. I'm like, oh, he looks pretty cool. So I started liking some of his stuff. He started liking some of my stuff. And eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to this guy because I really think he's cool. I don't want anything from him. I just want to connect with him. So I connected with him and I said, hey, man, look, I said, I like your stuff. And I think there was a point where I asked him for his number and he really hesitated, right? So I'm like, this guy probably doesn't want to give me his number because he thinks I'm like everybody else, right? So eventually he gives me his number and we talk on the phone. And we're probably 35 minutes in. He was like, I got to be honest with you. He says, usually most people don't get past 5 minutes with me. And then he was just like, you know what? He says, I'm picking something up from you. You seem like an awesome person. Whatever you need, let's work together in the future. That was it. And that was like the first conversation. And a lot of time had passed. I think I came out with the first book.
Probably, I want to say almost probably 2-3 months passed.
A while passed. So I came out my first book. My book became a bestseller, right? I had no idea that he was writing a book or working on a book. So one day out of the blue, you know, we hooked back up and he's just like, yeah, I've been working on this book. And I'm just like, hey, let me take a look at it. So I read his book and his story and I'm like, this is phenomenal. So we talked and I said, the only thing that we need to do now, I said, all the things that you've accomplished and the things that you've gone through, we're going to put it in a way that can be applicable to other people. Like, let's give them some principles and some steps to how Eddie Gordon became who he is. And we worked on it. And I think we finished the book. Oh my God, maybe in 3 weeks, put the book out. The book became a bestseller. Awesome. And things just kind of snowballed from there. It was just like, okay, how do we present the next value as a team? And he always jokes around. He calls us Tango and Cash. That may be a little too over some, but if
we're telling our age. We're telling our age, but right? That's a great movie. I love that movie.
So excellent film. So that's pretty much how we evolved, and it just became, all right, well, what we're doing is like an art form, and we're trying to win. And winning, sometimes you lose in the essence of winning. So that's how the whole Art of Winning show, you know, came about, and we were just having fun with it. Yeah. It was just something to add value to other people, and then I think our first guest was Chris Cyborg, one of the top fighters in the world. And she came on and the rest has been history. We've just been having fun ever since. So now we're at a point where we are going to monetize the platform because we're reaching so many different people. It's a movement. It's almost like a personal development revolution, and we're loving it.
Yeah. And honestly, the best part I think about it that when Meiyoko and I first started talking, I remember him literally telling me, man, there's more to you. We're going to figure it out. And you're going to touch more lives than just fighting. And I'm looking at this guy like, this guy's crazy. Like, this is what brought me everything I got. I kind of hit him. Okay, sure. Okay, guy. And like that point came to reality and he warned me about it. He's like, you're going to get messages, emails. Something's going to resonate to you. And I remember like yesterday getting my first email, DM from a person that read my book, another country. I don't know who this kid was. And he said, you know, hearing your story and somebody in your position going through what you went through, being bullied, being an immigrant, being different. And this kid was like, I really didn't want to live anymore. I was thinking of a way out. And now I realized that if you made it, I can make it too. And I was like breathtaking, taken away. And I was like blown away that something I could write, my life, my story could reach somebody and make an impact on their life like that. And after that, I was like, okay, I take screenshots. This sounds so corny. I take screenshots of these emails, these text messages. I never post them. I never put them out anywhere. Any day that I feel like, why am I doing this? And I feel like I'm giving too much and not getting enough in return. I open up that email, I read it and said, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. When I get videos from random people, sometimes I send Meiyoko these videos. He's like, do you know that person? I'm like, I have no clue that person is. But they're talking about my book and not my fighting. It freaks me out. It freaks me out when they're like, oh my gosh, I love the book. Thank you so much. I know there's more to my life than this. I'm just like, this guy is right. Like, how is this possible? It's scary, but it's like it's so fulfilling, and being able to guide and help and show people that, being an athlete is really, really fun. It's really awesome, but it's such a short period of our life that we have to use that platform to make a bigger impact, because, it's not about how many fights I win, how many cars I own, how many homes I have. It's not about the material things. I tell my kids all the time, it's about the legacies I'm going to leave, the lives I'm going to be able to touch. And I feel like I have a huge responsibility. I got 4 at home that I have to work on, but there's millions out there that I want to be that go-to person that's not just trying to get a dollar from them, where I can literally genuinely give them some kind of value, and they could hopefully become a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, $1 million company, or heck, just get a scholarship, just be a better person. Whatever their success level is, just reach it. It doesn't quantify, or you can't put a place or a tag on it based off of somebody else's. So Meiyoko, you was right.
That's awesome. So how long have you guys been doing the art of winning?
Wow.
Not that long, right?
I really want to say we were flirting around with the idea while we were doing the book. So I want to say literally Art of Winning has probably been a podcast officially maybe 3 months.
Maybe 3 months.
And you guys have done so well, right?
It's mind-blowing, the amazing guests like yourself and a lot of others that have come on. I mean, we've had Toscarino. I mean, she's just like a health and fitness icon.
Wow.
We had these episodes coming up. We have Emily Frisella, who's an awesome, amazing entrepreneur. Her husband's Andy Frisella, by the way. And we've had so many different people. We've had Carrie Katona. We've had Chris Cyborg, we just mentioned, and many, many more. We have some people that have confirmed that.
I know, yeah. We don't want to we don't want to spill the beans.
So it's amazing
I love
what you can do. I think people sometimes get carried away with the amount of time, or it's going to take a while. But if you are a purpose to do something, and if you have a vision, it's almost like it's this energy that pulls everything towards you, and you start connecting with different people. So I've learned now to spot someone that may resonate with me and Truck, and I'll just reach out to them and say, hey, look, here's what I like about you. Here's what value that I can see you bring. We would love for you to come on our platform. And that's just pretty much how it's been happening, because a lot of people want an opportunity. If you're like Lisa and you're like Eddie and you're like me, you want to add value to as many people as you can. So the opportunity to present a greater platform is just a no-brainer for a lot of those people.
And the part that I love about the show as well is that, honestly, the big names are really fun and really cool, but I want the average person to be able to tell their story. And that, to me, is what's like so impactful, because there's so many amazing stories out there that we might never hear of. We might never know about the person, because, people think that, Africa and over out in the East is like the richest place. No, the richest place in the world, like Les Brown says all the time, is a cemetery, because people are just afraid to take that leap of faith and afraid to write that book, afraid to make that song. And if, I find somebody that has a great story, I don't care if they have 5 followers, 10 followers. I want their story to resonate. I want them to be able to explain and show how they went through obstacles, went through failures, and now they're winning in life. And winning is it's universal. It's not just sports. It's not just business world. It can be, I was a horrible dad. I dealt with addiction, this, that. Now I'm a better father. And that person might not have the huge name, but somebody listening can say, hey, you know what? I got to kick this habit, whatever the addiction is, for my family, for my kids. And if you can impact that person's life, then we're really, truly winning.
Right.
I love that. Oh, my gosh. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much. You're awesome.
And so
we're learning from you. We're learning from you. So
much fun. So let's talk just really shortly. We're probably way over. Well, we are, but we have so much fun. So Success has no age limit.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Man,
Okay, I'll go first because I know Eddie's ready.
yeah.
So success has no age limit. When you think about it, and I think this is where people get a misconception about personal development. You should never be at a spot where you don't stop growing, even if it's small incremental steps. Sometimes it's huge steps. Sometimes it's just inch by inch, right? Tortoise in the hare kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is you should never stop growing until you stop breathing. And I really, I'm adamant about that. So success having no age limit, there's value that you can add at 70. There's value that you can add at 80, 99 years old. There's value you can add at age 15, age 25. And it's interesting because one of the people that are coming on our show, I want to announce his name. He's coming on the show, but he has a client. The client is 76 years old.
Yeah.
He can deadlift 205 pounds.
What?
Yes, he's pushing up several hundred pounds on his legs 50 times. And this man is 76 years old. And this guy, the one I'm talking about, he's 50 years old, but you would never be able to tell from his physical shape. And one of the things that he said was, we say success has no age limit. He says youth has no age limit. So we immediately resonated. So it's interesting that it's a mindset thing. That's what success having no age limit is all about. It's a mindset thing. So if you program your mind in a sense where I'm going to be productive, I'm going to grow, I'm going to add value, I don't care what type of age I am. It doesn't matter. Then you're going to continue to consistently add value to other people. Go ahead, Eddie. I know you're waiting, man. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to piggyback off of Meiyoko, but you're spot on. And I like to say, besides the success has no age limit, you're never too old to learn and you're never too young to teach. Because that's the part that I loved as well, is that, you know, whenever you think success has no age limit, we always tend to think, oh, we're too old, we missed it, we missed the boat. But we have some young entrepreneurs, we have some young people that are writing books as bestsellers at age 12. We have some kids that are teaching us how to live a youthful life, because I genuinely believe that I'm probably the oldest 16-year-old kid that ever walked this face of the earth, because I want to keep that youthful love and passion, because at one point in my life, I lost that. And success, I hate to say, but like, we can't compare our chapter 20 to somebody's chapter 1. Success is going to be different for every single person. And I know that when you're a kid and you talk to a kid about what do you want to be when you get older, how do you want to be successful, their eyes light up. They're astronauts, they're doctors, they're lawyers. Their dreams are huge. And I don't want any adult to be like that adult that tried to crush and just diminish my dreams. Like, we're never too old to learn. We're never too young to teach. And if we can live by that, we can learn from our kids, and we could teach our kids, and vice versa. And that, to me, is what success is. It's not about how much money you have. It's not about what kind of cars you have, watches, all that stuff. You know, some people say that I'm too basic for my celebrity status. And why do you always want to wear a black V-neck and this? Because that's what makes me comfortable. That's who I am. And if we're always who we are and we're generally authentic, when we make mistakes, when we fall, it's not going to be a shock. It's not going to be a surprise, because we're not going to hold ourselves up so high that the fall is so steep. So no matter how old you are when you're watching this live, always remember that if you have a dream, dig deep and go for it. Don't let anybody tear you down. That doesn't mean don't take advice. Don't listen to somebody that's been there. That you have to detoxify the information that's coming in, take what's good for you, your soul, and run with it. And don't ever judge your success. Doesn't matter how old or young you are.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, make sure that you just bring it into whatever anybody's saying, bring it to center, see if it is right for you, and take it from there, right? Sometimes we forget to do that. It's like, oh, well, okay, maybe I should do that. It's like the shoulds and shouldn'ts, right? So I love what you guys are saying. That's amazing. Tell us about what fun and exciting things you have coming up.
Well, I guess I could tell Meiyoko too. Meiyoko, we have an amazing venture that we're going to circle back on Sunday, right before this beautiful show with Lisa. Had a really good, impactful conversation with somebody who runs a mindset camp. They work with different professional athletes, they're venturing off, for girls, for boys, for football, wrestling, mixed martial arts. And, they saw one of my posts, one of my video rants, and how I was talking about our system, our mindset system that you and myself got in place. And the word system, caught their attention because they literally work with different organizations. And it's like lifting weights. You lift weights to get strong, but everybody forgets about the mind.
Right.
Different activities and exercises and systems you can put in place to build up your mind. So when he heard me preaching and ranting about that caught their attention, and they want to partner with us. They want to work with us, and we're a little
news.
Yeah, so it's really awesome because they have a lot of manpower, a lot of resources, and they don't know exactly how, but I talked to there's two brothers, so they're like he's gung ho about it. He's bringing it up at the board meeting, and we're going to be able to impact lives faster. It's great if you go by yourself, you can probably go faster, but you go as a team and you can go further. So I am super excited about this. So nobody knows. Lisa, you got the scoop.
Congratulations.
I didn't even know.
You know what? And that's so cool, because this just proves what you're saying throughout this whole interview, is that if you be yourself and you are passionate and share your passion, share your values, share what's important to you, share your opinions, the people that resonate with you will hear, and you'll impact them in some way. And sometimes it comes like those great collaborations.
Absolutely.
You're so right. It's scary because I always tell people, when I do live, sometimes I don't look at how many people's on, because sometimes you'll get discouraged. Like, oh, it's only 10 people watching. Oh, it's 100 people. It's a great day today. And sometimes it's just a matter of time of day. But never look at that number. Don't worry about your subscribers on YouTube. Don't worry about your Instagram followers. We touched on this actually when we did the show. We recorded the show with Emily. People are so focused on the number. It's not the number. One's greater than zero. If you can touch and change one person's life, that's where it's at. That's where the power is. Don't matter if you have 2 million followers or you have 20 followers or you have 10 followers. If those people are engaged and they're getting a message, they're getting value from you, and you're changing that 1 out of 10 life, that's amazing. If you have 2 million people and nobody cares what you have to say, because they're following you just because you're following you. Nothing drives me crazy when I see somebody have 2-3 million followers. They post a picture and there's 10 likes on it. It's like you're not authentic and you're really not adding any value. People almost just following you because they feel like they have to. But it's about making an impact, a lasting impact. That's what true life is about.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. And where can people find you?
Okay, Yoko, I think I'm stealing it.
No, man, look, I'm loving this, man. It's like I said, this is real-time news. All this is new to me.
Well, I'm going to put both of your website links in the post when I edit it, so both of them, you'll show up. But I just wanted to,
Well, make it easy. I make it easy. So it's everything. My Instagram, my Twitter is at truckmma_UFC. My website, eddietruckgordon.com. That's kind of like the hub. You can find everything there, the foundation, what we're doing. I wanted to give a little shout out because I'm super excited. June 2nd, I'm doing a female flag football camp for just girls ages 6 to 16. I'll be speaking there on mindset because, women always get, beat up, and you can't play football. You're a girl. And this is near and dear to my heart. It's actually the first female coach in the NFL is hosting it. And we have a few different NFL players. So it's really awesome. We have 5 or 6 different New York Jets are coming down. So it's really great. And it's going to be able to, not just touch lives on people that are fighting, but just touch lives on young women that who knows, they could be the president one day. They could be the UFC champion. They could be the first female NFL player. There's the sky's the limits, and that's the message I want to give. So I think though you could get tickets if you want to go there at jenweltner.com. So definitely check it out. I'm super excited about that event, and it's right here in New York. So it's got to be. We got to make it the biggest one. I think I'm gonna give you another. I might not supposed to say this. I might get in trouble, but I think Adidas is sponsoring it, so it's gonna be really cool. So these girls are gonna be able to get some Adidas apparel, sneakers, shirts,
nice
stuff. And No kid is getting turned away. So if you can't afford it, reach out to us. We're doing sponsorships. We want to make this thing awesome. So I'm super excited about it.
That's amazing. Oh gosh. Okay, so we'll put all of those links up in the post. So, and Meiyoko.
Well, basically, I'm pretty much simplistic, just like Eddie. Instagram and Twitter is at MeiyokoTaylor.com. M as in Mary, Eiyoko, Taylor. But I definitely want to give us a plug for the Art of Winning show. If you all are not subscribed to the Art of Winning show, I recommend you do so. It's very different. And the reason why I say show is because it's not just like your average podcast. We talk, we laugh, we entertain. It's really, really a fun experience, but it's for those people that are tired of feeling like they don't connect, they don't relate to other people. Like, you're always going to have someone on that show that you're going to relate to or resonate with. I guarantee you, because it's everyday people sharing extraordinary stories that change the world.
Yes.
We changed.
Very well said. This guy's the best.
Oh, you guys are both amazing. Thank you so much for being
so
my
welcome,
guest. Thank you. And thank you, listeners, viewers, for watching, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. If you have any comments or questions, make sure to post them below because we'll all see them. And like my page, give us some love, hearts, love, thumbs up, gifts, whatever.
All those things.
All that fun stuff. And hey, Lisa, I want to throw it back your way because like I watch from afar, close, near, all that stuff, and everything you're doing is so phenomenal. So I want to make sure that you know that what you're doing is genuinely appreciated.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much, for having us on. Like you blow me away. Every conversation, every post, everything you do, like you're living the dream. And I'm just super grateful to be connected to you.
Thank you so much. That is huge for me. Thank you. And thank you for, so you guys know why these guys are so much fun, and you have to listen to their podcast, The Art of Winning. We'll post the link up above, and we'll see you next week. So you guys hang on, and I'm going to say goodbye to everybody that's watching. Thank you so much. And again, whether you're watching live or the replay, let us know where you're from, and let us know what kind of questions and comments you have. We love to see that stuff.
Right.
I'll see you next time.